It's time for the last of the glitter right line to be revealed. We're actually nearing the end of everything being revealed for DBT11, but for this video we're gonna talk about Kurama. This video is sponsored by Phoenix Pharos Cards. If you need supplies of singles or splits for Cardfight Vanguard, especially the ones in the video, do check out Phoenix Pharos Cards today, and as a bonus, use the promo code MetaNerd to get an amazing 5% discount. And with that being said, let's get on with the video. Greetings YouTube, welcome back to the MetaNerd channel. I am Marcus, bringing you another video for Cardfight Vanguard Willdress. In this video, we'll be going through the last of the glitter riot line support that DBT11 provides, which is Tamayura support. Out of the 5 glitter riot line, I think Tamayura has the most well-rounded riot line out of the 5. She does give consistent results, but then again, she still kind of lacks a little bit of push for her to basically go up the meta. But with this new Tamayura, I think she might just be the push she needed. Of course, alongside Tamayura for this video, we're gonna include Shojodoji as well if he's here, because you know he's a stealth unit. Without further ado, let's take a look at what Tamayura as well as Shojodoji receive for DBT11. First off, we have Dragritter Qasim. Active Rigor Circle cost bind this unit. Choose up to 2 face-up cards from your opponent's bind zone, and your opponent put them on the bottom of their deck in any order. If you choose 2 cards with this effect, choose one of your Vanguard and it gets 5k power until the end of turn. This basically helps you fuel your bind zone just to give you like more of a choice in terms of who you want to superior call, while at the same time return whatever is in the opponent's bind zone back to the bottom of the deck. Since Shojodoji do binds the opponent's stuff, this is actually quite solid in terms of which rearguard to be returned to the bottom of their deck and could potentially hinder some of your opponent's combo turn. He does provide a 5k boost to Shojodoji himself, but then again, it's highly unlikely that you're able to choose 2 cards because some of the Vanguard nowadays, there's not a lot of rearguards that is left on the field for you to, you know, either retire or return to the bottom of the deck. It's not to say that it's impossible to give the 5k to Shojodoji himself. With how the meta is shaping up to be, it's highly unlikely that you're able to get 2 cards. However, the problem comes is that this card might not be played since it is a -1 from the hand without him actually doing anything other than, you know, bind himself to return 2 cards from the bind zone to the bottom of the deck. It's a good 1-off or 2-off, but I don't think you should stress on running this as a stapler in your Shojodoji deck. Next up, we have Stealth Dragon Dual Wielder. Auto Rigor Circle. When this unit attacks, if you have a Vanguard with Shojodoji in its card name, cast Counterblast 1 and bind another rearguard, choose a face-up card from your opponent's bind zone and put it at the bottom of the deck. If you did not put a card, choose a card with Stealth in its card name and grade equal to or less than your Vanguard from your bind zone, and you may put it into your hand. Yeah, so we have a lot. It is Shojodoji effect, so there are bound to be a lot of supports that basically return whatever is in the bind zone to the bottom of the deck. This card is quite decent in terms of, you know, return whatever is in the opponent's bind zone to the bottom of the deck, while at the same time, if you are unable to choose a card in the opponent's bind zone, you are able to choose a card from your bind zone and put it into your hand. This, I think, is going to be the big one, due to the fact that there are a lot of stealth defensive unit that you may have that could be in the bind zone, and you can just put them to your hand, be it a trigger, a PG. It's a really great card to help fix your hand. It's definitely lacks in terms of flexibility because the choose a face-up card in the skill is actually mandatory. So if your opponent's bind zone has even 1 card, you will need to choose that card. It's a mandatory effect, so there's nothing really much you can do about it. What's more, the grade 1 and grade 2 right line is able to superior call themselves back for a cost of 1 soul, effectively making this whole skill Counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 1, which is quite nice when you think about it. Not too bad, but not too great either. Next, we have Stealth Rogue of chenmwt, Kagechika. Although when this unit is placed on Rigor Circle, choose a card with Stealth in its card name from your drop and you may put it into the Auto Rigor Circle. When your other units is placed on Rigor Circle from bind zone, if you have a Vanguard with Shojodoji in its card name, put this unit into the soul and draw a card. This, I think, is a very quality support for Shojodoji, as not only does it provide you with soul resources, it does helps with the bind zone setup as well. Now, since we all know Shojodoji do bind 2 of your soul to the bind zone, you effectively can recycle the trigger as well as a stealth PG from the drop zone to the bind zone. And with the previous grade 3 combination, you can technically put them back into your hand, which effectively make a very quality recycle engine going on here. And since this card is free, really good synergy here. What's more, this card does gives you a draw at the cost of putting this unit into the soul. It's a really good card. If you are a Shojodoji player, I recommend you get this ASAP. It's really good. The previous grade 3 is just bonus. The last of Shojodoji's support is Stealth Fiend Izasaou. Although when this unit is placed on Rigor Circle, if you have a Vanguard with Shojodoji in its card name, cost Counterblast 1. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 unit card with Stealth in its card name from among them, reveal it and put it into your hand and shuffle your deck. Second skill, although when this unit is put from Rigor Circle into Soul during your turn, choose a face-up card from your opponent's bind zone, put it at the bottom of the deck, choose one of your Vanguard, and it gets 5k power until the end of turn. This card I think is also quite good in terms of searching for more of your stealth unit. Since most of your stuff are gonna have stealth in the card names, it's highly likely that you're able to get whatever stealth is in the top 5. This does includes the PG as well, since of course the TD PG is a stealth unit. So yeah, this card is really good for 1 Counterblast. As for the second skill, it's more leaning towards when your Shojodoji Vanguard attacks, you need to put 2 rear guards into the soul. If you are choosing this card over here, you're able to basically return one of the opponent's bind zone card to the bottom of the deck and also provides a 5k power to Shojodoji. Shojodoji by himself does not really gain power. He's more towards like giving the rear guards power instead of giving himself the power. So it's not that bad. And if you're able to choose 2 of these grade 2 to put them into the soul, yeah, Shojodoji himself is able to get the 10k. But the power here is more or less bonus, I would say, because Shojodoji's center column isn't hitting for big numbers, so to speak. The rear guards are going to hitting for big numbers, but not really for Shojodoji. I do recommend you getting this card though. He is quite good, and we don't really have a lot of like quality support for in a very long time. Moving towards like a more generic support. First off, we have Up Dracokid. Continuous Rigor Circle. If you play a normal order this turn, this unit gets 5k power. Second skill, auto, when this unit is placed on Rigor Circle, Counterblast 1. Search your deck for or drop for up to 1 a serious fight. Reveal it and put it into your hand, and if you search the deck, shuffle the deck. This is quite similar to the one card that basically each and every nation will has. This is the typical order searcher. The only difference is that this card, while being a 13k booster and you are able to search like an order card, this much is pretty much typical. He is able to search out a board control order, which is quite nice, but then again, you are playing 1 Counterblast and 1 Soul Blast to basically filter 1 card out from the deck and then board control for relatively cheap cost. But other than board control, this combination doesn't really do much. I don't really have a lot to talk about this card because, you know, he's not the most eye-catching support that we currently have. But hey, what else can we do? As for the order card, we have a serious fight. You play this with Soul Blast 1. Choose one of your opponent's front row rear guard and retire it. At the end of that turn, discard a card from your hand, choose a serious fight from your drop and put it into the hand. So it's basically like a very cheap front row retire that basically could help if your opponent is going like full aggro on you. Then yeah, this card is definitely going to be nice. And since it does recycle itself at the end of the turn, you are able to keep using this order card the following turn, which is quite nice. However, as I mentioned before when we were talking about Up Dracokid, these two combination isn't exactly the best, and I would argue that this combination is actually the worst one. This card is solely strictly retire board control. Not that it's bad, it's just that the value isn't really equal, so to speak. We're just gonna skip this one because there's really nothing much to talk about. Next up, we have the triple R, Dragritter Lateefa. Although when this card is placed on Rigor Circle, other than by a unit's card's ability, if you played a normal order this turn, cost Soul Blast 1. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 card with grade less than or equal to your Vanguards from among them and reveal it. Call it to Rigor Circle if it's a unit card and put it into the hand if it's a normal order. Shuffle the deck. Auto Rigor Circle, when this unit attacks a grade 3 or greater unit, this unit gets 5k power until the end of the battle for each of your opponent's open Rigor Circle in the same column as this unit. This is, I think, by this point, the generic order searcher as well as a superior call target support. Depends on what order you're playing in your deck. You might want to run like these type of support if that order card is one of your game plan to basically win. But other than that, she is not that bad of a superior call target. Other than the order searcher as well as superior call target, she is basically a 20k attacker upon attacking a grade 3 and above unit. And of course, this needs to see if you're able to retire a full column for you to get the 10k. With that in mind, it is recommended to pair this card with a board control support. Gandiva is the first boss unit to come in mind since the whole deck revolve around nuking the board for more power, so it's not that bad of a card. For the other decks, of course, if those decks within Dragon Empire does not have like a retire support, then you're mostly focused on the first skill, which is by itself is really good. Last but not least is the new evolved version of Tamayura, Will-o-Wisp's Daybreak Tamayura. Although when this unit is placed by riding from Deepening Night Tamayura, search your deck or drop for up to one order card without Regali's piece, reveal it and put it into your hand, and if you search the deck, shuffle the deck. Activate Personal Right. Auto Vanguard Circle. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, bind a Deepening Night Tamayura from Soul. Choose up to one card each with Rirumi or Rarami in their card name from your soul, call them to Rigor Circle, and they get power +5 until the end of turn. At the end of that turn, write the card bound for this cost as rest, and of course the glitter skill. So you are able to recycle a order card upon rewriting into the OG Tamayura. I think this card is actually very good because order cards so far that Tamayura has are actually really good. It's either you want to superior call Rirumi and Rarami on demand, you want to put them into the soul to be then used from Tamayura multi-attack skill to, you know, multi-attack, or you can go roller defensive and get the Forks art. These three order cards are really good, and with the skill that allows you to recycle these order cards from the drop, it's just a really good synergy, and it does encourage you to run lesser copies of all these order cards, which I think is really good. The big difference of this Tamayura and the OG is that the multi-attack now only locks to Rirumi and Rarami from the soul. The OG Tamayura is able to superior call anything from the soul, but you can only call one. You are able to call two, but the two cards that you call are going to be Rirumi and Rarami. But for this evolved form here is that you are only locked to call Rirumi and Rarami. So it's either you call a grade 1 or grade 2 Rirumi and a grade 1 or grade 2 Rarami. So she isn't really the most flexible card, I would say, but then again, you are able to recycle the order card, which I think is probably the best way for you to put Rirumi and Rarami into the soul. One more difference is that this card does provide a 5k power to both Rirumi and Rarami, which allows them to hit even harder as opposed to the OG form. The OG form, whilst do provide a 5k to the front row, she doesn't really provide any additional power after she uses her superior call multi-attack skill. This card, on top of the 5k provided from the OG Tamayura, this card does provide with another 5k. And while we're talking about the power boost, this card is probably the strongest upgrade, as well as the upgrade that has the most synergy with the OG Tamayura. Because the OG Tamayura is able to get 5k at the beginning of the ride phase, that 5k stays until the end of the turn. Similar to how personal ride power works, your front row is constantly gonna get 15k. Other than the points that I mentioned here, the attack pattern does not really change as much. You still want to superior call both Rirumi and Rarami and use either one of their skill to Soul Blast 2 grade 1 Rirumi and Rarami, and then Counter Blast 2 to superior call them. The best thing here is that this new Tamayura no longer costs a Counter Blast, which I think every single Tamayura player will definitely appreciate. Possibly one of the more stronger upgrade. And that is all for this video. Do let me know down in the comment section of what do you think of Tamayura support as well as Shojodoji support, wherever he is. Do like and subscribe if you like this video, and of course do ring the bell notification icon so that you don't miss a video I upload. With that being said, I'll see you all on the field.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, go.